Hey guys, welcome back into the Record Room, and as I always do, thank you so much to our new subscribers, viewers of the channel, people leaving comments. I truly I'm amazed at the support and love that the channel seems to be receiving at the moment, and I cannot believe we are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, which is mind-blowing to me. So from me to you, a big heartfelt thank you. And on today's episode, I'm going to talk about 4 brand new reissues that have they've been, I don't want to say a long time coming, but they've definitely been something that there's been a need for a while. And you know, as you clicked on this video, you'll already know what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about 4 of the 5 Tony Martin era Black Sabbath albums. Now these albums actually came out in a box set Anno Domini, was it earlier this year or late last year? I can't quite remember now. I did have a copy of the box set on order, but then unfortunately the order just never came through, so I ended up cancelling it. But the albums were released individually, so not going to complain too much. And this is kind of a forgotten era in Black Sabbath's catalogue. Obviously everyone knows about Ozzy, and then most people, I would assume, know about Dio, but you know, after that, do they know about Glenn Hughes? Do they know about Tony Martin? I don't know. Me, I am actually a fan of every era of Sabbath. I think they were different in their own ways, but still very, very enjoyable. And these late 80s, early 90s albums, I have listened to numerous times on streaming over the years. I've never owned physical copies of them because I never felt I needed to. But now with them being reissued, I thought it's probably time I added these to my collection, and it'll be a fun way to reacquaint myself with some of the albums and eras that I'm not as familiar with as when it comes to the Ozzy and the Dio eras. So 4 albums. These recently came out, I believe it was last week, and they came out 2 different ways. There are black vinyl versions and there are clear vinyl versions. Now I picked all of these up from my local record store, Eclipse Records. If you would like to do the same, I'll leave a link down below where you can go to their web shop. And these are actually the clear vinyl versions. Now I didn't choose the clear vinyl versions, but I was given the clear vinyl versions when I said, hey, I want those new Sabbath albums. So clear vinyl is what it is. But yeah, I thought we would dig into these one by one and take a look. So first up, we've got Headless Cross. Now this one came out in 1989, I believe, the first time. I mean, like, the lineup on this: Tony Iommi, Cozy Powell, Tony Martin, Jeff Nichols, and Lawrence Cottle. I mean, it's a killer band produced by Tony Iommi and Cozy Powell. Like, it's solid. It's really solid. I have a lot of Sabbath records. I have the Glenn Hughes, the other, what is it, Seventh Star. I love the Dehumanizer album, where they had Dio actually rejoin Sabbath during the Tony Martin era. That's a great killer rock album. But these, I gotta say, I honestly have never given them a real, you know, kind of the time of day, but I'm going to now. So the hype sticker on the front says 2024 remaster of the classic 1989 LP on limited edition ultra clear vinyl, includes lyric sheet featuring Devil and Daughter, Call of the Wild, and Headless Cross. So let's take a look. So there we go, nice printed inner sheet with the lyrics and some information. And this is nice to see. It does come in a poly-lined inner sleeve. Very standard, clear vinyl. There you go. Obviously I cannot comment on the sound quality of these, but I will leave a comment in the comments section. That's where comments live. Once I've had a chance to listen to these and give you my opinion of them. Right now we're just unboxing them and taking a look because, quite frankly, I wanted to record this video and I wanted to listen to them, so I thought this would be a good opportunity. Next up we've got TYR, which is a 2024 remaster of this classic 1990 LP. Now, even though the album is called TYR, I do believe it has a very loose connection to Norse mythology. It just happens to be called TYR. So this one, once again, on limited edition ultra clear vinyl, includes lyric sheet featuring Feels Good to Me, The Sabbath Stones, and Heaven in Black. So there we go. I believe I might have had this on CD actually, a long time ago. Line up on this: Tony Iommi on guitar, Cozy Powell, Tony Martin, Neil Murray, Jeff Nichols on keyboards. Once again, produced by Iommi and Cozy Powell. I will say this: the quality on the scan, on the artwork, this kind of looks like it's been blown up from a CD or like a smaller image. I will say that. It's a little fuzzy on the back. I'm going to bust it open, but I don't think it's just because it's in shrink wrap. I think it's just this. They probably don't have the original artwork for this. Yeah. It's okay. These albums aren't fantastically expensive. I can't remember exactly what they are, but they're all under £30. 25, 26, something like that. But here we go. See You on the Black Sabbath World Tour 1990 to 1991. I would love to have seen Sabbath in this period, but I was slightly too young. I know that's hard to believe, me being young and everything, but slightly too young for that. So 1990, I would have been 12. So maybe I wasn't too young, but I probably wasn't listening to Black Sabbath at the time. But very nice to see, very nice printed inner sleeve, and different from the one on Headless Cross. So, oh, we've got different labels as well. This one does have some runes on it, which is quite nice. So, there you go. Black Sabbath TYR side 1 and Black Sabbath TYR side 2. I guess it is kind of nice having them on clear, like all 4 of them on clear vinyl. I'm sure they will all sound pretty good. And now we've got Cross Purposes. I am not familiar with this album whatsoever. So this is the 2024 remaster of the classic 1994 LP on limited edition ultra clear vinyl. It includes a lyric sheet featuring Evil Eye, Cardinal Sin, and Psychophobia. Tony Martin on vocals, Tony Iommi on guitar, Geezer Butler on bass, Bobby Rondinelli on drums, and Jeff Nichols on keyboards. I mean, it's a killer band. Absolutely killer band. Produced by Leaf Masses and Black Sabbath. Very cool. Very cool. This is, you know, I titled this The Forgotten Era of Black Sabbath. Obviously, it's not forgotten to Sabbath fans, to fans of Tony Martin era, but there are a lot of people out there that kind of switched off after Dio. And I'm sure there are people out there that switched off after Ozzy, to be perfectly honest. But these are still well worth checking out. There's some great killer rock on these albums. Born Again, I think, is a brilliant Sabbath album. It's a brilliant rock album, like hard rock. These are more hard rock than heavy metal, but still fantastic albums. And there we go. We've got the insert there, the lyric sheet for Cross Purposes. I do like the album cover on this one as well. This one, I don't know if this has been redone, but it looks a lot nicer than the cover for TYR, I will say that. And again, I will comment on the sound quality once I've given these a clean and given them a listen, but that is my next priority, so I should be able to do that fairly quickly. Now, this final album that's been released, this album here, so Black Sabbath Forbidden, this album is actually, this was produced by Ernie C from Body Count, and I love Body Count. Ernie C, I think, is a fantastic musician. I'm not sure that he was the best choice of producer for this album. I remember when I first heard it and was, oh, okay. But this is the 1995 LP, newly remixed by Tony Iommi, so maybe it's better? Limited edition ultra clear vinyl includes lyric sheet featuring The Illusion of Power, Guilty as Hell, and Get a Grip. And I will say this, once again, it looks like the cover has kind of been blown up from a much smaller image. It's not terrible, but it's not quite as sharp as it could be. 2024 remix by Tony Iommi. Tony Iommi on guitar, Neil Murray on bass, Cozy Powell on drums, and Tony Martin on vocals, Jeff Nichols on keyboards. Again, a killer lineup. So, you know, it's not like the band weren't great. They were. It must have been hard in 1995 with, you know, nu metal was popping off. There was a massive shift in the alternative, like hard rock, heavy metal world. Geezer Butler was doing GZR, and obviously he had Burton C. Bell from Fear Factory as his vocalist. They had that killer song, Drive-By Shooting, which sounded like Fear Factory. And, you know, I don't know who these records were for at the time. I will say this, they don't sound like they were made, this album in particular, it doesn't sound like it was made for Black Sabbath fans. But again, lyric sheet, there you go. Pause and zoom if you would like to take a closer look, or alternatively, grab yourself a copy of this if you are a fan. I mean, having these albums on vinyl now, you can, I'm not sure if Forbidden is actually on vinyl or if it came out on vinyl back in the day. If it did, it will be probably quite expensive now, because I can't imagine it was made in huge quantities giving its time period of 1995. These may all be, I know some of them are available originals because I've looked around online, but they are kind of expensive for what they are. So now being able to get new versions relatively cheaply is the way to go as far as I'm concerned. But what do you guys think out there? Are you fans of this era of Black Sabbath? Please leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. But that's it for this episode of The Record Room. So thank you once again for joining me. And remember, stay gold and spin those blackest circles.